6 grandpas versus 1 fake. Odd one out. Thanks to Jubilee. Yeah, start.
I'm a grandpa.
I am a grandpa.
I am a grandpa.
I'm a grandpa.
I'm a grandpa.
I'm a grandpa.
And I'm not.
What a wig.
I'll start. I'm Ken. I have 1 grandson. He's at that really cute age now. He's going to turn 4 next month. I'm sorry, he's going to turn 34 next month.
Hi, I'm Howard. I have 1 grandchild. He's about 2.5 years old.
Hi, my name is John. I have 2 grandchildren.
Well, my name's Alex. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a grandfather of 3.
This is Martin. I have 1 grandson. He is going to be 4.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill, and I have 3 incredible grandchildren.
I picked the look on his face as he said that. Just the blinking.
The grandpa sweater on purpose. I think it helps me get into character, you know. On the
Really
drive here, I was
blindfolded.
only playing Billy Joel and Leonard Skinner, just in case they asked me. I had to get into character, so the music was blasting.
Oh yes, I needed to go to the children's party tomorrow, so I was listening to Skibbity Toilet and Italian Brain Rot on a train journey there. So, you know.
I want to know, for all of you, do you change diapers?
No.
No, not that often, because, like, you know, I don't really wear them that often, to be honest, because, you know, I'm a granddad. So, like, I don't know, do you? I mean, like, I can take a look if you want, but, like, I'm not asking, but, like, I can. Okay, I might have to cut that.
Not
I did, you know,
I did.
in a pinch.
Sure. This is Dan, and I've changed a lot of diapers, although I do admit that I sort of try to find a way to be busy if it's really obvious, and my wife takes over, and she seems to like it more than I do.
This is Bill. My wife, Cheryl, also has diaper duty. Cheryl?
Was he called Bill at the start, or has he made that up? Keeps changing his name. Just the granddads are just really confused. Wait, have we finished introducing each other yet? Because there's just like 18 more people, and it's all him.
To me, just embodied like the most lovely grandma possible. I did Jerry last time, so I couldn't use that.
Hi, my name is Jerry, and I have 3 beautiful grandchildren.
Oh, he's
And,
done okay.
I'm very happy that that's the situation when Julie takes the kids up to Washington. You know, it was terrible changing diapers when my kids were babies, so I don't think my daughter Julie trusts me with her grandchildren. I know nothing about diapers. I've never changed one, and so I just blamed it on my fake wife.
I got off really easily until he was about 2, when I thought he should have been housebroken. And then at 2, it just, I want Grandpa to change me, only for the really bad, horrendous diapers.
Oh, man.
And I told him that, well, fine, I'll change it now. But, you know, a whole bunch of years later, you're going to be changing mine. So. Just remember how nice I was to you.
There you go.
Hey, Bill, I'm wondering, do you live up in Washington, or do they live up in Washington?
I live in Port Angeles, Washington,
Okay.
and my daughter
Was she
Julie
short?
came down here for marketing.
Come on, dude.
And
Join
my
the
son
Jimbos.
Brad
We're all
is
short.
a lawyer, so family, all family is down here. Just me and Cheryl up in Washington. Julie and Brad are actually family friends that my parents are very close with. Julie works in entertainment, and
Oh, you're getting thin there. Grandparents might know it, might know them, because for some reason every grandparent on Earth knows each other. For some reason, just like you're walking with your granddad, nice day out. It's like, oh, John, hello, John. Okay, granddad, who's John? Oh, we met for 2 seconds in primary school in the 60s. Okay, Grandpa. Do you wanna carry on walking, Grandpa? No. I'm going to stand in this puddle and talk to John. All right, Grandpa.
Brad is a lawyer. Brad is married to the law.
Have you had any thoughts about moving down to Southern California to be closer to them?
No, I'm
Sorry about that voice.
retired. I ran a window replacement company up in Seattle. My dad runs a window replacement company in Seattle, so I knew some details about windows. And Even though
but they're gonna see right through you, mate. Oh, did you see that one coming? I don't think you saw that one coming. I just shattered you all. Yeah. Okay. I'll stop putting you through this pain. Yeah, right. Okay, I can't think of him more.
retired, I still am pretty hands-on. I like to support my family, and it keeps me pretty close, being able to support them and staying hands-on.
I have no idea why I just said.
What was that? Why did bro just go cross-eyed? Bro's a Looney Tunes character. Guys, I can't speak. I really need to work on speaking English.
None of you have grandchildren really close?
Oh, I do. I see them every day almost.
Do you take them to school or?
As long as I'm not working.
No, they take
I
me
work
to school.
part-time as an actor, and so it's tough with scheduling.
I was with my daughter when she was in labor for about 24 hours. And then just before the baby was born, I was kicked out of the room. And
By the baby.
I wonder if any of you were right there or pretty close when your grandchildren were born.
When my grandson was born, that was a little over 8 years ago, my daughter gave me strict instructions that I was to leave the room at that point once they knew the baby was crowned and coming. And I ended up having the left leg, her husband had the right leg, and we were helping her push. I never saw a natural childbirth with my own kids. My daughter, the doctor was a comedian, pulled her head out, left it there, said, okay, your alien's here. Just a little head sticking out of her belly.
Or maybe he wasn't just a comedian because he was a doctor. Maybe he's just like really accurate. Maybe it was an alien. Who knows? Maybe this isn't 6 grandpas and 1. Maybe this is actually 6 normal people and an alien. Yeah. Maybe he is an alien himself. I don't know. Just putting that out there, guys. Okay, sorry. Okay.
And put his foot up on the table, grabbed her, said, okay. And when we had signed in advance to, if we had a girl, we were tying the tubes right then and there and calling it quits.
Wow.
Yeah, that was probably not the smartest thing for the doctor to do.
Both my kids were born C-section, so I really didn't have a point of reference about whether somebody would actually stop a procedure as the head was coming out.
I know, with our granddaughter being born, they lived in San Diego County. Not being there was obviously, it was a different time, but I still remember the first time I actually got the opportunity to see her, which was probably the coolest thing, and it kind of tied everything together when I was able to watch my son with her on his chest. I thought that was one of the moments that just was ingrained
Sorry,
in my
how's he
mind.
wearing that mask? He's wearing it like halfway up his ear.
Ken, I'd like to know how often you see your grandchildren.
No,
Well,
you can't
he's
say
almost
that.
34 and he lives in the Bay Area now, so very rarely. We Zoom about once a week.
Okay.
The whole family does. When he was, up till the time he was 5, we saw him almost every day. And up until the time he graduated from high school, several times a week.
I think was it Bill, correct? To my right.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that you live in Washington, correct? But you're
6-year-old me at the adults table at Christmas trying to join in with the conversations, but just not understanding a word the adults are saying. Literally. Like, literally.
grandkids are in
Long Beach.
Long Beach. I know my granddaughter loves the beach. Do you guys ever get down to Sunset Beach?
Yeah.
When you're down in Long Beach?
Yeah. We just took the kids actually a little further south to Laguna Beach.
Oh, nice. I had asked a question because knowing he said he lived in Washington and he said his kids live in Long Beach. Well, I work close to Long Beach, so I threw in a city that actually wasn't in Long Beach, that was in Seal Beach. And for someone that lives
Bro's sniping him out, guys.
I don't remember your name, but I know it's to my left. He said he saw his grandson regularly till he was 5, and then occasionally till he graduated high school. Why did that stop, that gap from 5 to high school and then after high school?
They lived a block away from me until he was about 5, and then they moved a couple miles away.
Ah.
Who had the story about the baby's head partially out and the
That was
doctor
John.
paused? Okay.
What? Who are they going to vote out?
I almost voted for Ken because I thought Ken's story was a little too smooth.
Oh.
I can't believe you just voted me out. I'm a grandpa. I'm 49. I don't know what else to say, guys, but you guys messed up. It's all on you now.
I cannot believe that just happened.
So my question is, what is your grandpa name? And I'll go first. I'll answer first. My name is Geda, and that means grandpa in Czech because I was born in Czechoslovakia.
What?
And we,
The guy who's not grandpa is going to say Pops or something, isn't he? He's going to go simple. I reckon he's going to go simple.
long story, but so I am Geda. And who are you?
I'm Ken. My name was Bumpa. I have a shirt that has about 10 or 12 grandfather names that my daughter made for me. Grandpa, grandfather, grandpere, grandpater, gampaw, gramps, pake, granddad, papa, grampkins, and Zadie.
He's not quite there yet, talking my name yet, but I do want to be called Grandpa.
My grandchildren call me Grandpa Dan.
Between my son-in-law's parents and us, we got the privilege of being Nana and Papa.
New term recently, Papa Bill. Marie,
Papa.
the youngest granddaughter, recently coined that term, and it stuck with
Or speaking
the rest
too
of the
much.
grandchildren. So.
Stop speaking! What?
Yeah, I'm Papa
Where
Bill.
did that come from?
Yeah, isn't that so cute? Just came up with it.
I'd like to know, how old were each of you when you've had your first grandchild?
I was 14 when my wife got pregnant with our oldest. I love to tell.
Did you say he was 14 when he became a grandpa? Sorry?
People, I was 14 when my wife got pregnant with our oldest, because I was 14 when my wife got pregnant with our oldest. In my defense, however, I was not the father. My wife was 5 years older than me, but I was 40 when the grandson was born.
Wow. This is Howard.
Okay.
I was 70 when my grandchild was born.
I was 55 when my grandson was born.
I was 60 when my first grandchild was born.
I was 60.
He's going to say 62.
I was 57 when my first grandson was born.
I kind of just said a number and hoped it was believable.
How does that affect everyone here as far as being a grandfather? Did that just change and all of a sudden this black cow come over and you go, boy, I must be old? Because I felt like that in the beginning, but then I said, hell no. I mean, I got married when I was 19, so we had kids at 23 and 26.
I don't feel old at all. I still feel like I'm 35. In fact, I've been telling everybody I turn 35 every year since year 2000, Y2K. You don't remember the year 2000. Planes were going to fall out of the sky, computers were going to burn up, and then son of a gun, October 12th, 2000, when I was supposed to turn years old, I turned 35 again. Every year I turn 35.
I actually turned years old yesterday. I miss being years old. You know. Actually, my pet duck is years old.
Again,
So-
and I don't question it because why would I?
You know, I'm 65, but when I'm with my grandkids, I feel 30.
I could have said 22, but that's so specific.
Michael just taught me about a game the other day, Minecraft, and don't know how the hell it works.
No, I wouldn't believe him there because all grandpas play Minecraft, mate. Yeah. Literally every grandpa ever plays Minecraft. They're all thinking, you don't play Minecraft? Oh my god, what's your... What? How
But
could you?
it sure is interesting.
My grandkids were Marie, Joseph, and Michael, and that is the middle names of me and my siblings.
I was wondering, how does everybody here deal with technology? Are you good at technology? And are you on social network sites like Instagram or Facebook?
I was not that old when computers came out. I actually took computer classes in college, so I'm not old. Like I said earlier, we have a family Zoom once a week, and we all know how to do it.
I have Facebook for my family and friends, and I have Instagram more for professional type things. But I love technology, and I keep telling the younger generations, hey, you know what?
Here's where they
Our
ask
generation invented the
what
internet,
the young
so
guy thought.
you don't want to go back to the days
Or like his
before
Instagram or whatever.
smartphone, when you had to have, you know, a record collection and an address book and you know, map book and all that, you know, a Thomas guide. Who remembers the Thomas guide? My gosh,
Use it
you don't want
really?
to go back there.
Me.
No, I do not know what the Thomas Guide is. I just thought they could hear my arm raising, so I raised it so I wouldn't raise any suspicion.
I use Facebook for friends and family, even golf groups as well.
I'm on Facebook, but I don't care for TikTok or Instagram. I do like Zoom, and I've encouraged my son and his wife and the 3 grandkids to get on Zoom more often, but they're going so many different places, they don't seem to find the times.
Does everybody know what TikTok is?
Yes.
Yes.
It's kind of weird that like that's my career, so I just had to take it like 20 steps back and say all I
that
knew was
guy.
Facebook. Actually, in the first place, I do not use Facebook, so I had to lie about that too.
I'm on Snapchat because that's my daughter communicates with that. So I get pictures of the kids, you know, if they do a somersault or if they fall off the bed and get a bump on their head.
I was extremely surprised when John said he had Snapchat. I've never heard of that before, you know? But hey, if it helps him connect with his family, that's great.
I asked the question because the technology scares the heck out of me. If the computer's not working, I panic. If the TV's not working, I panic. I am on Facebook now because my grandson's school.
Yeah, I'm terrified of technology. Imagine if I was holding a phone right now. Oh! You just terrified me. How could you? Ah! Okay, let's go.
I post pictures every day, so that's kind of the way I get to see him grow.
Wait, what's the hands about?
So we have a
Oh.
tie between John and Bill.
I think that I'm in a dream. Actually, I'm completely blacked out right now.
For this tiebreaker, I would like to know a little bit more about the significant woman in your life.
Well, I met my wife being introduced by my old girlfriend, who invited me to be their baseball coach. And the next thing you know, my wife was calling me constantly. We have a meeting, we have this, we got to practice. And to the point where eventually I saw that she was obviously trying to grow feelings for me. And the next thing you know, we were dating. A year later, we got engaged. And 6 months later, we got married. And been married for July, it'll be 45 years. She gave me 2 beautiful kids, a son and a daughter.
Right, what's
And
he
now
gonna
I'm-
say? What is he gonna say? I reckon he's gonna try and go simple. Something about where he said he's lived. He's gonna say he met her on the beach. He did something kind for her, and then that's how they met. And then they got married when they were 20 or 19. That's what he's gonna say.
Watching my grandchildren emulate the same thing. My grandson's the oldest, like my son. My granddaughter's just like my daughter. In fact, she's a spitting image of my daughter. It's just like watching them all over again.
In 1984, I went to a Billy Joel concert, and
the beach.
I met my uptown girl.
That was improvised. I was remembering songs by Billy Joel just in case they asked me. And I remembered that Uptown Girl was one, so I decided to turn it into something.
Her name was Cheryl, and we hit it off. And since then, she has just been the light of my life. You know, I didn't really have a close connection with my mother growing up. And
I didn't have a close connection with my mother. Why does Bro sound like Well, he literally sounds like a young guy trying to sound old. Well, that's what he's doing. But he's making it so obvious. Do you know how you'd sound old? Wait. No, that just sounds like... Before this matures like a Minecraft YouTuber. Let's just say that. What? No? Okay, no, we're getting... Oh, okay, I'm just gonna unpause.
She has shown me what it is like to be
the piano music.
A mother that loves her children. You know, ask my kids, Brad and Julie. Cheryl is an absolute delight.
He's speaking
spending time in Port Angeles. She cooks the best Dungeness crab. I tell you, she boils it. And the kids, grandkids, love it.
I like to believe it's real. I like to believe Cheryl is out there preparing Dungeness crab for everyone.
I know she's gonna watch this and probably has her palms covering her face. You know,
her palms
she gets quite
are
nervous. But Cheryl, I love you. I really don't know what else to say. She
Mom's
takes
crab.
Words right out of my mouth.
I didn't have any details to rely on. I couldn't be quick on my feet, so I just thought I'd swoon them with love, and hopefully it worked.
Well, I actually have a girlfriend. We were actually co-workers. We knew each other platonically for 17 years. You know, we were both single.
Oh, when? Did we ask? Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize.
And one thing led to another, and now we've been together for 6.5 years. Bill is sitting next to me, and I'm just picking up. He's very nervous when he talks, and his story just felt a little too rehearsed. I was suspicious from moment one, and then when he started speaking, it sort of didn't make sense to me.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because they all sound like old people, and he's just like, hello there, I am old. I am 57, in fact. Yeah.
I've been voting against Bill.
The nervousness makes me think that he's the real grandpa. I don't think if he was the mole, he would be nervous. I think the mole is going to be more polished and have his story pat.
But then again, he's an actor.
How do we know that?
He said that.
Did he say that? I didn't catch that.
As long as I'm not working, I work part-time as an actor, and so it's tough with scheduling.
John sounds a little bit too rehearsed to me, and his story about the baby is halfway out and the doctor paused right then. I've never heard that before, and it sounds a little bit too weird to be true. My daughter, who had been in labor for 24 hours, would have been hysterical if he'd paused for no reason.
Has anybody's vote changed?
I can be swayed.
I'm sticking with John.
All right, I'll switch to John.
If you think Bill is the mole, please raise your hand.
Oh, damn.
I did not jump on John's side because I was convinced that Bill was the mole.
All right. If you think John is our mole, please raise your hand.
How did I win that round? How did I win that? I actually have no idea.
Felt disappointed after the tiebreakers. I really felt like one of the guys thought it was too rehearsed, too polished, and he told him he's an actor, and it's like he is, so he didn't hear that from my initial bio. I wanted to talk about the fact of having my grandkids in a Lifetime film, that I had brought them in as background and picked them up from school. I really am an actor.
Now, how is everybody feeling about their bodies? Any injuries, chronic pain? I'll go first.
My ears hurt listening to you. Yeah.
2021, I had a spinal fusion.
I have never had a spine surgery.
I have two.
I have. My spine wasn't spining. Is that even possible with spine surgery? I'm sorry if you're a doctor and you do spine surgeries all the time. You're just listening to this stupid guy just going, is spine surgery a real thing? I don't know. Probably is, isn't it? I'll just shut up.
Rods in the back, and painful as hell. Recovery, also hell. But now more mobility. And another thing is my hands. You know, a lot of that window work. Now the grip and holding things isn't as easy, but I like to think I still got it, you know.
All that window work, you know. Oof.
What was the accident? What happened for you to get the spinal fusion?
There wasn't really an accident.
I fell off the cactus that was holding up the window tree. Because, you know, squares aren't ocean tree because owls just aren't in your bed all the time. So E equals MC squared, you know? You know? That's what I'd be saying if I was in the situation. I'd just be like jibber-jabbering. Like, you see how bad my, like, I just like stutter and find it really hard to say things on here. Imagine if I was trying to pretend to be an old person. She'd be like, I went in 1862 to the institution of baked beans cooked in oven, and I am not called Shirley Beveridge, 'cause I don't live in West Country, California. You know? I should write a book. Just like that. I'd actually set out instantly. Wow.
35 years installing windows. Some of those windows were 10, 15 feet, and we didn't have a whole lot of crew. The gear we had didn't have a lot of back support. So it really took a toll after a while. And then I got into a little bumper incident, and that was the nail in the coffin. So.
I thought it was just random enough where they'd be like, why would this guy lie about windows?
My son's a personal trainer, and he just harangued my wife and I for years to start exercising on a regular basis, so we did. So I'm 74 now, and I'm in the best shape of my life.
I feel great. The only time anything really hurts is when I get down on my knees. Getting up is a struggle these days, but other than that, I feel really well.
I have the same struggle, but I'm still pretty active. I hike, I ride my bike, and I also ski. But yeah, that getting up, you know, from the floor is
it's hard.
Oh my gosh.
I can get down easy.
That's the
getting up's not so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I can imagine, I don't know.
I'm pretty happy that John got eliminated. I think you're all being relatively honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I like this group.
Well, I'm wondering about Bill, because you said with your spinal fusion that it really wasn't an accident, but then you said that it was that you had a fender bender.
Martin, you're obsessed with the fender bender. What's going on? Why me, huh? What's so interesting?
Yeah, well, that wasn't really an accident that incited it, you know. 35 years of work, like I said. And after that incident, it took a long time to recover. And you're right, I could have been more clear and said that there was a moment, but that wasn't what caused the surgery. I wanted to be, I don't know, I want to be honest, and those 35 years, they add up.
And your 35 years of work was installing windows and climbing and things like that?
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of heavy lifting.
If you want to lie professionally, you better own it.
Oh, right.
And if you make a mistake, stand on it, and do not go back on your own word.
I have a question for everybody.
Sure.
How many children do you have, and do you expect to have any more grandchildren?
I've got 3 children and 3 grandchildren, and 2 of my children are in their 30s and not married, and my wife desperately wants our daughter to get married.
And have a grandchild.
And have a grandchild.
Come on.
That's one step at a time kind of
Do
thing.
they not know what to do?
Not really.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, right.
Brad and Julie are my 2 kids, and Julie has 3 grandchildren. Brad is married to the law, so yeah, it's no kids, no more kids in this family.
Did you say married to the mob or married to the law?
The law, lawyer.
The law.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
got it.
Married to the mob.
Okay.
My share.
I have a question. Is there a worse part of being a grandparent?
The best and worst part are the same thing depending on the day. It's sending the kid back home.
Yeah, right.
Hardest part, I live in Washington. You know, we talked earlier about how, you know, I'm not with my grandkids. Cheryl's health issues and California in general. I've convinced my kids as much as possible to bring them up here. You know, I think Washington is a wonderful place to raise children. Just not getting to see them. Last time I dropped them off at the airport when they came for Christmas, and that was
actually getting emotional
it's hard
about
watching them walk off and with their little suitcases. It's tough.
I don't know. I thought it would be like tender because you know how
after playing with my Lego characters, 7-year-old me just crying because I killed off one of the characters.
kids have those like little like Dora the Explorer backpacks. So I don't know. Maybe they relate to that. Just like small details. They'd be like, only a grandpa would know that.
And for me, the worst part is not being in the same city and seeing him, you know, maybe like 3-4 times a year. And when I see pictures that change each time, and I don't get to see that happening, you know, in person.
Now, before I have everybody vote, I'm going to go around and ask everybody. It doesn't have to be your final answer, but who you're thinking about voting for right now.
I still feel suspicious about Bill. You know, going back to what I said before, I think he sounded nervous. I just don't think the story is real plausible.
Martin, right?
Yes.
Well, I think we're all grandpas here, but you know, it's tit for tat for me. So I'm gonna have to say Martin. I really can't think of a good excuse other than, you know, you're the one to throw the bait to think that I'm not one, but.
No special reason, but I think I'm gonna vote for Bill.
This will be our final vote. If you believe Bill is the mole, please raise your hand.
Oh, all of them.
I am a woman. I'm a woman.
What?
I am a woman. I am a woman. I am a woman. I'm a woman. I am a woman.
All right, guys. That's not grandpa's anymore. Right. Cheers, guys. Sub, like, bye-bye. And check out Jubilee, because they have some amazing fantastilistic content. Yeah.